What if I told you that you could start a magazine in just 2 months? It sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what my student Hannah did. She had the idea to start her magazine in October, joined the Editor Academy in December, and by January, she had her first issue available for pre-orders. Fast forward to now, and her magazine is fully available for sale. If you've ever thought about starting your own magazine but didn't know where to begin, this is proof that it is totally possible. Now let's dive into my chat with Hannah so you can hear exactly how she made it happen. So we are going to talk a little bit about your journey to starting a magazine and your experience inside of the Editor Academy. So thank you again for talking to me. So you've kind of touched on it, but tell me what prompted your wanting to start a magazine and what kind of challenges did you have prior to finding the course?
I've had a pretty robust website over the last few years that's grown, and I was looking for something that was going to be able to monetize and build me as a credible person in my space. And so I started looking to other people in my niche, I suppose you could say, and they all have some sort of product that's sort of like a magazine. And there's, so many magazines that I really love and admire. And so I just started doing some research, and I found you, Kate, on YouTube. I started researching. I read all the reviews. I looked to see if anybody else was doing this. I couldn't find anybody. And so I just took the leap, jumped in, and started going through all the modules. I think I went through them a lot faster than I was supposed to, but I just took it all in.
Yay. Okay. So what kind of stood out to you about the course? When you came across the course, how did you know, like, this is something that I need?
Well, I think I knew what I wanted in the long run. I just didn't know the little steps to get there.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I really appreciated about you is you broke it down so much to the point where I was like, okay, do I need to know this in a different light, or how am I supposed to approach this? Because I am someone who's been in business for a while. So I think it'd be really, really helpful too for someone who has never, been in the business world at all. So I found that to be extremely helpful. I think it was a lot of little things in each module. Maybe there was like one little takeaway that was a really great idea that I had never thought about before, but then all together, it was just really a cohesive approach that drove me in the right direction.
Yay. So let's talk about timeline. So when did you kind of have the idea that you knew you wanted to start a magazine? Since you had your brand already started, but then when did you decide you wanted to make it a magazine? And then what was kind of the timeline? Because now you are already selling issues. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's so fantastic.
Thank you. And we launched that this week on Tuesday. We pre-sold it since January, but officially had it. I was really trying to figure out what direction I wanted to go with this business. I left my 9-to-5 last May, really was trying to figure out what direction to go in. And there's so many ways you could go in this industry. You could be a full-time YouTuber, really my YouTube following, which is fine and good. But also when you are focused just on YouTube, you could get demonetized. You could get kicked off. Like, not that I'm talking about anything that you could get kicked off about, but you never know. Like, you could lose your audience overnight. And so I really wanted to provide something that was substantial and engaging. So I just started doing some research. I think it was probably in October that I started mulling about with this idea. And then I think you'd have to double check. Maybe it was December, I want to say, that I jumped in and started doing it. I think it was December because you'd kind of outline you could do an annual one, a quarterly one, a monthly one. And I decided to do quarterly. So it worked out perfectly.
Amazing. So you went from idea in October to finish print magazine by January.
Yes, absolutely. I should have grabbed a copy and held it up.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh, your video on Instagram, I was like, oh my God, I could cry. I was so excited.
Oh, I know. I think, that one. I was like in tears. It was just amazing. I think that's how authors must feel when they get their book for the first time, to be holding it.
It's so exciting. So, okay, so now we have a finished print issue. Did you do everything yourself, or did you bring on tell me about your contributors that you have?
So this was one of the biggest issues that I had in wanting to join the Editor Academy, because I had no idea how I was going to tackle this. And so I have several Facebook groups that I'm a part of that are kind of in the niche that I discuss. And so I just threw it out there that this is
Yeah.
something that we're doing. I would love to have contributors. I already had people that are contributing to the website, so I kind of
Yeah.
leaned on some of them. And it was a resounding excitement for this. And I think I had like 25 people that
Wow.
is for it, which was fantastic. And I had more that were interested, but didn't go all the way through the pitch.
Okay.
But I would say one of the most helpful things was your templates in this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yay. I'm so
Uh,
glad.
yeah, I was really struggling before that to figure that out, and also some of the templates for engaging with people to interview, and
Yes.
I haven't done a full on. Well, I haven't, gone and talked to the celebrity yet or somebody to
Yeah.
come in and do all that, but those resources will be helpful when I do
We'll
that.
get there. Yeah. We'll get there next.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay. So, what do you think, since you just kind of said the templates were immensely helpful, and that I'm so glad that that's been so helpful, because that's one of like the main, I'd say, like problem areas that people have are like, I know I have this idea for my magazine that lives in my head, but like I'm not a graphic designer. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know how to put this together. So I'm so happy that those are helpful.
Yeah.
What do you think is kind of like the most valuable insight that you got out of the course?
Oh, that's such a good
Or
question. There's so many
or in
things.
another way, yeah, like how do you think it's been the most helpful in getting you from just idea to like finished product? What do you think was most helpful?
Well, I had a lot of ideas in my head about
Yeah.
what I wanted to do in the end, but I didn't know how I was going to get there. So all of your resources, like the templates, to just plug and play a little bit, and
Yeah.
even you had one particular template that is, I think it was a Canva template, but you used it in one of your magazines where it's directing people to read more articles on the
Yeah.
website. And so little things like that that I hadn't
Yeah.
really thought of that are helpful to put in there. So I think probably something like that.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
the way you explain things too was immensely helpful.
Oh, good. Like I tried to do it so much from a perspective of like someone who has no concept of anything, does not know anything in the digital space. I'm like, the last thing I want someone to do is come in and be like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially, well, someone like you has a lot of experience in that area already, but what an easy progression for you to already have all of the content from your site that you can kind of just print.
Exactly. And I think I'm still learning when it comes to like the digital format versus the print format. It is amazing to me how many more people want print than digital.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
probably 80% of people have ordered print versus digital. And I have so many theories for why that is, from AI to everything being online these days and people wanting
Yeah.
this, having it be a luxury. I position this as a luxury coffee table item as well. Um,
Yes.
so,
That
anyways,
is like I have my wedding magazine also, and it's very true that there's when I started in 2011, digital was like a new thing. Like a digital magazine is like something you can click through online was like a new concept. And now we went through that whole like obsessed with digital. Everyone wants it on their iPad, on their phone, whatever. I want to look at it wherever I am. But now it's like we're moving back into no, I want something I can hold, and I want to move back into like traditional print magazines. And I love that. So my wedding magazine this year is actually doing its first issue in print because so many people, especially in the wedding industry, just like I want my work in print. I want to, if this my wedding is in here, I want to own it in print. So now it's like
yeah.
there is such a kind of return to print happening. So that's amazing that you made that choice.
Well, and I'll say too, just the connection to you was extremely helpful because there were so many
Oh,
little things where I just would
yeah.
reach out and ask and be like, "Hey, who's the printer that you use?" I'm
Yeah.
really, because I gotten some quotes from local printers and it was
It's a little
extraordinarily
crazy.
high.
That's a little crazy. Yeah.
No way to make this work, and for me to have to bulk order the inventory
Yeah.
and then do it myself. So the strategy and the partnership that you suggested has been
Yeah.
really, really great.
Yeah, and back when I started my first magazine, Mini, it was like I was thinking about doing it in print, and then I got quotes from printers, and I was like,
Mhm.
this is insane. Like, why would I take a leap on this?
Yeah.
You have to like back then you had to like order like 1,000 copies. Like that's all they would print. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, that's so crazy. So now it's like there's these print on demand websites and they make it so easy for you to just have a print magazine. So that's incredible.
I think one element that I didn't really expect, but that you really highlighted for me was um, the credibility that it gives you beyond
Yes.
just being a YouTuber or being a writer. Because I've been able to go to people and say, "Hey, would you like to be featured in my magazine?" And they're like, "You have a magazine? Oh my goodness!"
Yeah.
And it makes me think of being Andy Anderson and How to Lose a Guy in
Yes.
2 Days or something like that.
Yes.
But that's been extraordinary for me to actually feel like I have something beyond just being a content creator or an influencer, but
Yes.
to have a robust business there. Of course, the profits aren't as good with the print version versus the digital. That's just life. But being able
Yeah.
to hold it up, I mean, we have a YouTuber featured in this first inaugural issue, and it's so fun for me to just be able to show her exactly where she is, and and it's valuable for her too. So
Yes.
parts of it.
It elevates kind of everyone's brand because you get to
Yeah.
kind of go to someone and be like, "Would you like to be featured in my magazine?" You are now the editor in chief. So now people are like, it holds a little more weight because people are
Yeah.
like, "Yes, I want to be a part of a magazine. Of course I do." And then when they get to say and share to other people, "I was in this magazine," that kind of elevates their brand too. So it's like a win-win for everybody almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, you're selling print issues. Are you also selling digital at the same time? What's kind of like the offer that you're
Yeah.
selling?
So I actually have 3 things. I mainly just send them to the landing page to learn
Okay.
more about what we're doing because I really do see what we're doing as a movement of classical
Mhm.
femininity and embracing the truth, goodness, and beauty of womanhood. And so I direct them there. There's 3 options. They can do the print option, which is the number one seller and the number one feature, I guess, position number one on the site. It's also on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Noble as well.
Amazing.
First thing, or it will be. Or I'm in the process of working that out.
Yeah,
That's going
but
to be
that's fantastic. How
yeah, which
awesome.
again goes to the credibility. Um,
Yeah.
so that's the first offer. The second thing option on the checkout is a bundle option. So because I'm
Okay.
doing quarterly, people can go ahead and purchase theirs for the beginning of the year, and they will get all 4 throughout the year. So it automatically helps me with cash flow. Put those things
Yeah.
up front.
Yeah.
And then the third option is the digital. So that
Okay.
is a great option too, and that's been a good seller as well. But it's been far surpassed by the print edition, that is for
Yeah.
sure.
And so
Yeah.
what's the price? So what are we talking for print? And then we have digital separate, and then we have the bundle. So
Yeah.
what are we talking for pricing?
Yeah. So I've done a few different promotional prices as well,
Okay.
and that also just helps me to figure out where to gauge.
Yeah.
Um, because there is shipping prices involved in the print
Yes.
version. Um,
Yes.
so I did a pre-order
Okay.
since February 1st.
Which was
So I
smart.
launched and announced it then. People could come in and get a discounted pricing, which was
Mhm.
$14.99.
Okay.
And then because it's 62 pages and it's like super duper high quality, like
Yeah.
not that I have to justify this at all, but just so you
Yeah.
know, um,
Yeah.
it, it's very thick, glossy
Awesome.
finish, all of
Ooh,
that. So
yes.
that's $14.99, and then it's
Okay.
a $5 shipping. It's $10 if it's international because I have a big international audience, so I wanted to make sure that they were included. And
Awesome.
I was getting so many emails when I announced this, like, I'm in Australia, I'm in Germany, make sure that I can get this. So that's
That's
been
so exciting.
I know it's so crazy. Um,
Yay.
the bulk pricing makes it a little bit cheaper for each one. That's $65
Okay.
for all of them for the 4 for the year.
Okay.
And then the digital is just $8.
Okay. Per
Yeah,
issue.
per issue. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yep. Okay. And you're gonna do 4 a year. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about the first issue. So it's 62 pages.
Mhm.
What types of articles are in here? What did you write? Because you said you wrote some of them. So tell me what's
Yeah.
in this issue. Yeah.
Well, we've got so many good things. I really wanted it to be an experience where they can go from start to finish and not just feel like they've been entertained, but that they've actually learned something and can apply it. So I have everything from checklists to recipes to
Yeah.
um, at one point I have a 3.5 page featured article, which is probably a little bit long, but I just wanted to keep that in there. I have some interviews with a local woman who I knew that really embraces classical femininity in my perspective, and then I have a YouTuber featured in there. I have a health and wellness article. So I approaching it as a lifestyle, basically a
Yeah.
lifestyle magazine, but it touches all these different points, especially when it comes to classical femininity, because that's, very
Yeah.
um, there's a lot of things you can touch on when it comes to that. So that's kind of um, that was my approach, that I wanted it to be widespread and have a lot of different things that women can take away. At the very end, I have a try this section. So it kind of talks about all the things we've talked about, and then gives some implementation guides.
So back to the course. What kind of module do you feel like had the biggest impact for you?
Hmm.
So we have like
I,
like content planning, and we have design and all of that. So what do you think, which one helped you the
mhm.
most?
Yeah, I think the content planning one was extremely helpful to open up my eyes to all the different things that I could do.
Hmm.
That was really helpful, and to organize all my thoughts, because there were so many in my head.
Yeah.
That, and then some of the Pinterest strategies that you've done, I'm really excited about that. I haven't gotten into that just yet, but that is something you explained really well, and that was something I hadn't really thought about. So that was really helpful. But I think just the whole process of utilizing the other softwares was helpful as well,
Yeah.
like InDesign. Yeah, I mean everything's so wonderful. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness.
Right?
So
Yes.
you did the InDesign template. So did you have experience with InDesign before that at all? So you found it easy to navigate that. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Good.
still learning. There's some things
No,
in
of
the
course.
it's where
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard when you come from the Canva world, and
Yeah, I know.
it's so
I
plug
know.
and play. Um, but I also found a bunch of old magazines at an antique store from the 40s, and I love them, and I just took pictures of them and I sent them to someone on Fiverr
Oh my
and
gosh.
had them redesign it for me. So that was really cool to kind of imbue my vision with things that I
Yeah.
love.
How
Yeah.
cool. What a cool find. How has the pre-sale gone?
It's gone really well. I have been
Yay.
surprised. We never really know when things are gonna do well or not. It's taught me a lot though in the launch.
And
Um,
amazing, by the way, because I mean, looking back at my magazines, like what my very first magazine looked like and what it looks like now is like night and day. Like they're just completely different. So it's like I mean, it's your first issue. So like now you know, and you're learning, and you'll
oh,
go to the next one and it will just get better every time. Congratulations. That's literally so exciting. I'm so excited every time someone goes from like idea to like, you did it, like it's finished. That's so exciting. I'm getting ready to like add so much more to the course. So I'm like, okay, we've
no,
been running it for a year. I'm like seeing where else I can like add, or people have questions. I'm like, that should be a lesson. So I'm like going back. So this
yeah,
spring and summer is going to be like the Editor Academy 2.0 with like way more lessons that I'm adding. So
good. Good.
yeah. So that
Well,
will, I mean, you guys get access to all of that. So I'm
that's
excited to
the
do
thing
that.
that I love about it, is that I feel like I'm a friend for life. Like I get to
Yes.
jump in there and figure it
Oh,
out. I know my wins are your wins, and vice versa.
yes.
That's been really great.
Yeah. And are
Um,
they going to get bigger every time? Like, are you planning like your next one's going to be bigger or around the same? And that's
You
okay.
know, it really depends. It probably will be about the same size right now.
Okay.
I think I need to bring on some full-time people. I have like part-time help, but to
Yeah.
be able to do this and continue to, grow the content creation portions and
Yeah.
managing the writers on the site has been a lot. And I have
Yeah.
people to help me with that, but it's like just
Yeah.
trying to get
Yeah.
that running. And I only started this early last year.
Yeah.
No,
Like
mid last
literally like a couple of months into this magazine. Yeah.
year.
That's, you have done so much. So what if someone was on the fence about joining the Editor Academy, what
Yeah.
would you say? Like what would your advice be to someone who's kind of thinking about, I don't know if I should jump in? What would you say?
I think if they were a content creator or aspiring content creator who really wanted to establish themselves in their particular arena,
Yeah.
magazines are a fantastic way to do that I didn't realize. And I think there's a lot of people who, want to just lean into YouTube or Instagram, and those are
Yeah.
great things for that too. But this gives you so much more credibility than any other outlet that I've seen, or platform that I've seen. And specifically with Kate in the Editor Academy, all the questions you need are answered. And if you don't know something, just putting it in the community has been extremely helpful for me. and there's somebody, if it's not you, it's somebody else in the program that can answer that for you. So I think I saw in one of your promotional PDFs, it said that this is like the Bible for magazine creators. And I was like, yeah, I guess. Good way to put it, I suppose. Like, this is a great guide book. So I think there's no other course out there that I've seen that's anything like this. So if they're on the fence, hop on this way, because this is the way to go.
Yay! That's so exciting. Okay, so tell me, the community is something I'm so excited that people have like jumped into that, because
Mhm.
I've seen like some people ask a question and be like, wait, how did you decide to do that? Or how are you doing that? Like, so when you posted something about like, I have all these contributors, and someone else was like, wait, where did you find the contributors? Like, how do I'm like, that's so helpful to like hear what other people are doing. And I'm so excited that like the community element of it is helping everyone else to kind of see what they're doing too. So that's wonderful. Okay, so tell me where people can find your magazine, and where do we find you?
Yeah, so the magazine and my entire business can be found at theswishmagazine.com. We have guidebooks and our issues, as well as all of our YouTube videos. You can find those on YouTube, just at the Swish Hannah. A lot of people just put the Swish Hannah in there. You just put the Swish either way. And that's and on Instagram at the Swish Magazine as well. So we're just getting started, and you've been a great help in that. So you can go check all that out.
Oh, I'm so glad. What is the meaning behind the swish? How did you pick that name?
That's a great question. So I was trying to find something that embodied classical femininity, and the iconic image of a woman is a dress, a skirt.
That's what popped into my head. Okay.
Good. Yeah. And in turn, a skirt usually swishes, so that's why I called the swish. So the classical icon of womanhood.
Okay, that's where I was going in my brain, but I just wanted to make sure I was right.
So yes, but that's what the meaning behind it. My mom actually came up with that.
I love that.
Thank you.
That makes sense to me. That's what I thought of. One more question. What do you think surprised you the most about starting a magazine once you kind of jumped into the course? What was surprising to you? Or something you didn't really think of, I guess, when you set out to start a magazine?
Well, first of all, I was surprised by how easy it is once you get the templates going. I remember just starting and staring at a blank page and thinking, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's like a big problem everyone has, is like, how do I make this happen?
Yeah, so I think how easy it was. And I think just the ability to be more creative than just the type of magazine that you'd see on the shelf in the grocery store. There is a way to do it. There's a template to do it, but you can be so creative. One thing I love about your magazine is the way that you've made the words into a rounded shape. Oh, yeah. Some of the circles, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it. Yeah. And I think there's an added element of trust to hard copy things. Mm-hmm. In an age where journalists can go back and change their article online if the news changes, or if they change their opinion or take something down, you can't do that in print. So yeah, really, when you understand how you can work through it all, and with your guidance, the creative aspect to it was really wonderful, surprising.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, during your move is so wild. So and launching a magazine, like, it's like me. I'm like, sometimes I decide to like launch a magazine the week I'm like having a baby. Like, what? Chaos. Yeah.
You know what? If you can do that, you can do anything. And that's what I just keep reminding myself. Like,
yeah. Yay. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for you and to watch this. It's so fun. How incredible was that? Hannah went from idea to launch in record time, and you can too. Inside the Editor Academy, I teach you everything you need to know about starting a magazine, from choosing a niche and a name to designing, marketing, monetizing, and of course, launching. There's truly no other course like this. So if you're serious about starting a magazine, I've linked the Editor Academy in the description below, so you can go check that out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment below. I would love to hear what type of magazine you want to create. See you in the next video. Bye guys.